Hey everybody, we're back again, and hey, I found a ditch here. This ditch, what it does is, I'm gonna have you pan up the ditch there, Sam. I'm gonna explain to you, this ditch comes out of a big hardwoods up there. It's full of oaks, hickory. It's got some softwood in it too. It's even got big den trees, big beech, and it's got some big cottonwoods in it that I know it's a Denon woods. The reason I'm setting this ditch is this ditch runs down through here, and behind Sam on the camera and over top my shoulder, there's corn on each side of us. This ditch comes down and it meets the main creek out here, so it's just a natural travel corridor. And over the years, the coon have always used this side, this far bank, to come down. And anyway, they got a trail around every route that juts out along here. And anyway, right here, it's always been a good place for a pocket set. I'm gonna put a pocket set in. I'm gonna put it right here. The coons, they got a trail, tracks, you can see, running along the edge of this bank right here. And then it goes back behind me, like I said, down into the main creek, not too far from where we done the crossing log video. So I'm going to tell a little bit about what I use. Is to start off, I like to have a shear bank, straight up and down bank, to make a pocket set. You can do it on an angled bank, but the problem is, the more of an angle you have on the bank, the coon can walk up, the raccoon, mink, it can walk up on the edge of the bank and reach in. They're pretty good with their hands, so he can reach in there and he can get your bait. So I like to have it as flat as I can get it, flat up and down this way, vertically. Another thing I use is I just use a 1.5 coil spring trap. This is a Victor. As I stated in one of my previous videos, I like to have the pan as flat with the jaws as I can. I run about 1 pound of pan tension. Sometimes the pan's floppy, sometimes it's just it's maybe 1 pound of pan tension, that's it. I run a long chain, as you can tell. I do run a long chain. I usually use disposable anchors, but this ground is really clay and rocky and stuff, and I can't get an anchor in there. So what I had to do, I had to go to wire, and I wired it through the last swivel on the chain to this root right here that's really stout. I know the coon's not gonna break it or chew it or anything. He's not gonna chew it in too. But the reason, I get back to that long chain, the reason I run a long chain is, I do it because when a coon gets caught, coons run in family packs sometimes, 2, 3 at a time. And what I might do is I'll put a pocket set here. I might put a blind set down, 20 yards down the creek. I might put another blind set or pocket set or a smear set down behind me. And the reason being is when that coon gets in that trap, it doesn't drown. It's full of swivels. I got a swivel about every 14, 15 inches on this chain. And as he fights this bank and fights the trap, he's gonna make all kinds of noise. And what that does is, the ones that are running with him start running around and wondering what's going on. The more you can keep here, the more they can smell your lure and they can smell your bait, and the more coons you're gonna catch. You might come down here and you might hit a triple. You might hit a triple, you might hit a quadruple. I've only hit a quadruple once in my life, but I've caught multiple doubles. And doubles look awesome on camera and what have you, and anything. But what I'm saying is you have to keep the coons here for as long as you can to work your trap, work the bait in the back of the hole, and so on. So I'm gonna dig this. It's kind of hard. We're gonna cut the video and then we'll come back. But anyway, when I come back, it'll be dug. And all right, folks, we're back. Hey, I got that whole dug video. Took me a little bit longer than what I wanted it to, but anyway, we're back. The way I dig my pocket sets, as you can see, I don't like them much wider than a shovel. The reason being is that shovel's about as wide as coon's shoulders. Coons, I know coons are bigger than that shovel. They are sometimes wider, but if you make your hole wider than the shoulders, his back feet will be on the outside of the trap, and his front feet will be on the inside of the trap, and sometimes they can snag your bait and get out of there without even setting your trap off. So anyway, the way I dig my pocket, I dig it about this deep, elbow deep on me from the point of my fingers. I like to go back about maybe a foot, and now I start to angle it up. The only reason being is I angle it up, I like to have a dry shelf for the bait, and the bait we're just using fish. You can save your scraps in the summertime when you fish, frog gig, whatever you want to do in the summer. Save the scraps and you got your coon and mink bait for later on that fall. But anyway, this year I just had to use mackerel because we didn't do any fishing this past summer. Shame on us. But anyway, we just went to the supermarket, bought some canned mackerel. It's really good bait, but as I was saying, there's a dry shelf in the back. The reason I like the dry shelf in the back is your bait stays up out of the water, which reduces spoilage when you're in the beginning of the season, when you're in the warmer nights. But it also keeps it up above the water line. Sometimes if there's a rain or something, the water comes up. If your bait's right at water level, it'll float your bait out and it'll just go right downstream with your bait. And you know, coon comes along, he's probably gonna get caught anyway because they're curious. But it's always good to have better bait in there. So I'm gonna stick the bait in there now. And then what I like to do is when I set it, I've already showed you how I got it anchored, but I like the dog of the trap facing the right side. And the reason why, probably because I'm right-handed. If I was left-handed, I would probably have it this way, but I've always set it to the right. I've always been like that. I've always set it to the right. It makes no difference which way you set it. And I always set the trap in the north-south position of the levers. There's some guys and gals that'll set it like this. There's some guys and gals that'll set it like this. There's some that'll set it like this and even set it like this with the dog facing out. You know what? That's perfectly fine. You find what works for you and you go with it. I mean, this is everything I'm telling you guys is matter of my opinion. There's nothing to say that you can't set a trap different than me. That's just the way we set them. That's the way I'm teaching my boys to set them, and that's the way we do it. So what I like to do, I like to dig out a little bitty bowl shaped, just about the size of your cereal bowl, for that trap to set in there. And I like to set it down, then I just bed the trap in that bowl shape. I bed it with my hands open, so it's solid set now. You don't want it to tip and wobble. The coon comes up there and he's already curious about, hey, what's in the back of that hole and what's going on. He comes up there, he steps on something and it tips under his feet. Him being a curious digging animal, he's gonna dig the trap up, maybe flip it over, maybe snap it off, whatever. But it's an educated coon then. He didn't go to Harvard and get his PhD educated coon, but what I'm saying is next time he comes to a pocket set, he might be a little bit more cautious than he was the first time he come to it. So I like to have it bedded stable, trap bed stable, where it don't rock, don't move. I get it in there, push it down a little bit. Nothing's under the pan. Pan's got a shortfall. And this chain, I want to hide the chain. The easiest way I found to do that is I just take my shovel, jam it in the bank, rock it back and forth a little bit like this, down to where my chain will be. And I'll get it up so high to where I know the coon won't pay no attention to it. And then what I do is I just lay my chain in that. I just lay my chain and press it in there with my thumbs. Just like that. Run it back over. Cover that back over just a little bit like that. I'll hide this behind these roots up here. Outside of that, we're almost done, except I'm one of those guys that I like to just rip up a few pieces of water soaked leaves and just to add a little bit more camouflage to the trap. Most coons ain't gonna see it underwater unless it's shiny. You guys dye and dip your traps the way you're supposed to, and it's not gonna do it. But anyway, that's got a little bit of duff over the trap now. Don't want to put too much. It don't take much to misfire a trap. But anyway, that's the gist of a pocket set. Now, I'm going to leave that one roughed up. And what I mean by roughed up is I dug it in the bank, I left it just like it was. Sometimes I slick them up. Now, if I've got a place where coons are running the opposite side of the bank and everything, and they look over there and see a nice slicked up hole, you're probably 90% of the time you're going to draw them to your side of the creek and they're going to be caught. But since this trail's going right down along and they're going to be passing right in front of that, I don't feel the need that I have to slick it up. And really, you don't have to slick it up. But so we got the bait in there, got the trap bedded, got chain hid. Now it's time to put the lure. And I always put it right up here on the lip of the hole. Let it drip down in there. It actually smells pretty good. And anyway, I use a lot of lure. I'm not afraid to use lure. And the reason being is because I carry a 4-ounce bottle with me. in early season, at the end of the day, that 4-ounce bottle's gone. And there's some people that 4-ounce bottle will last them all season. But I'm just gonna tell you on lure is, one coon's gonna buy your lure. A 4-ounce bottle of lure from the guys I buy it is anywhere from $12 to $16 for a 4-ounce bottle. It's probably gonna go up. Everything seems to be inflating now and everything going up. But what I'm saying is, even if it went up to $20 for a 4-ounce bottle, 2 coons is gonna pay for your lure. Maybe 3 coons. Coon prices aren't very good right now, but when they do rebound, coon prices go up and everything else goes up, you will make your money back on your lure. Don't be afraid to use lure. I use it very generously because I want to catch the coon. I'm in here to catch that coon, and that's what I want to do, is catch multiple coons. So there is guys and gals that they'll take a stick, dip it in the lure, put it in the edge of the hole, whatever, what have you. You might catch a coon, you might not. But what I like to do, I like to use a lot of lure, and don't be afraid to use it, because like I said, you're going to cash out on coons if you use the lure the right way. I don't make my own lure. I buy my lure from 2 different individuals. They're very well-known lure makers, and I might let that secret out later on in a video later on, but I'm not going to do it right now. But anyway, I've got 2 very well-known lure makers that make my lure for me, so you can buy it. Anybody can buy it. But anyway, we found the coon trail running down along the bank. They're running this side of the bank. Dug in a pocket set for you right here. Showed you how to do it. I like to dig it, remember, about 18 inches deep. Shelf in the back, put the bait in, blended it in. Now all we gotta do is sleep tonight and hopefully come back in the morning and have a coon sitting here waiting on us. I've got a trap up the way there. Hopefully there'll be one up there, and I got another one down the way here. So hopefully we'll have a 3 triple in the morning maybe. But anyway, hey guys, appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you later.